we've covered these things, but I think it's important that we just go through. Today is a different forum. Let it be as interactive as possible. Tichatsokwenenzvera kuti toita seti cotton irimwe zvakanaka munyika nekuti ndopakubva foreign currency yedu uyezve kuti vanhu vekumamisha vagare zvakanaka. Saka isusu chidonzvo ratinaro tinoda kuti sive abantu vahlale kuhle emakaya. Right. So I'm going to look at the history of cotton farming in Zimbabwe. I'll cover a little bit about the background. I think it's important that we know where we came from so that we understand where we are and where we are trying to go to as a company. Then I'll look at the origin of the industry, the deregulation of the farm industry, the impact of deregulation, what it has done to the industry. Then also look at what we think should be the way forward for the industry. And I think that on the way forward, I'll also be breaking some good news to you. I think we have our own eureka moments that we've discovered. So I think I'll wait for the good news. Right, cotton farming has been around for over 49 years now. I think we're around the 50th year. And it's not a problem that is new. Most people know what cotton is, especially in the hot areas. As Mr. Njani pointed out, it does grow in hot and dry conditions with average rainfalls of around 400 to 600 mils. But I need to highlight something on that. If you go to your respective areas, you go to your Met Office records, they'll tell you that probably Sarabani got 450 mils this past season. You go to Chile, they'll probably say you got 500 mils. You go to Gobe, they'll tell you that you got 550 mils. But the challenge that we have right now is that of climate change. Yes, Gobe may receive 550 mils, and if you ask anyone, they'll say, that's normal. It's above normal for Gobe, right? But the challenge that we have is the rainfall distribution, which is being caused by climate change. You may discover that 250 mils will be received in 1 week, then the other 2-3 months are dry. Hence, we are having these problems. People may say, but you guys, you got enough rainfall, you got plenty of inputs, you are not getting the yields, you are not performing. The issue is that we have climate change and it's affecting the way our farmers are producing the cotton. So climate change, I repeat, is very real. It's now upon us. I think we have witnessed it. The last time we met in Mutare, we were busy talking about cotton, and next door in Shimanimani, they were experiencing the ravages of climate change. And I think we need now to understand that it's there, and we have to find a way forward to mitigate and insulate ourselves, our people, from the effects of climate change. Most of the cotton grown in Zimbabwe is rain-fed with very little irrigation for cotton. So that's an area again which is an opportunity for us to work on. Cotton farming was mainly in the past by the white sector commercial farmers, but with time, our small-scale farmers joined in and began producing the cotton. During the days of the UTI, cotton was a strategic crop that was producing raw materials for the local industry. Those are the days of the David Whitehead, and I'm sure during that period, government wanted a lot of uniforms for the army, which was produced locally. So it's important that it was important for the government then to ensure that they produce the material locally. Right. Like in Zimbabwe, since 1969, cotton was being produced by a government parastatal called the Cotton Marketing Board, CMB, the famous CMB. And this word is really stuck. If you go to Nemangwe is called CMB up to now. But they can't remove that tag, it's called CMB. It's now the name from Nemangwe. Most people call Nemangwe CMB because of the activities of the CMB there. After independence, the government of Zimbabwe started promoting growing of cotton as a cash crop by the small-scale rural farmers. And I think I also need to talk a little bit about that. This was easily accepted by quite a number of rural farmers in that there are certain religious sects that are not allowed to produce tobacco, for example. I'll give you an example, the Joanne Marange Apostolic Sect. They were quite strong in producing cotton because they were not allowed to look at other cash crops like tobacco and so on. So up to now, they are still our anchor in that they produce cotton for the nation because they don't do any other cash crop that maybe is linked to tobacco and that other things. So we need to look at such groupings with a lot of interest. By 1999, our communal farmers were now contributing 50% to the national cotton production. So the graph was now shifting towards communal farmers. And I think that has been covered by Ms. Njagi, the main areas that we grow cotton. Right, then comes deregulation. I'm sure most of you were around or had been born by then. There was this period when we were involved in what was called the Economic Structural Adjustment Program, ESAP. And that time, the main thrust of ESAP was that government must not be involved in a number of activities like funding parastatals and so on, which were viewed as a drain to the fiscus. So some companies were targeted by government to be weaned off or privatized so that government could focus on other areas. And Kotko was one of, CMB was one of them, which was targeted for privatization, and the TMB, then, which is now the Dairy Board, was also targeted for privatization. So in 1994, Kotko was commercialized, and the Cotton Company of Zimbabwe was formed as a private company operating commercially, but at that time, government held 100% shareholding in that company. Then just soon after the commercialization, the sector was opened up, and that's when companies like Cargill came into the country. They started also competing with Kotko at that time, and they were also producing, contributing in terms of free inputs, so Mama Inputs Credit Scheme. And you may remember during that time, AFC AFC was very, very proactive. So AFC was the bank that was financing rural farmers. So Kotko then and Cargill were not involved in extending credit to the farmers, but the AFC was the financier of cotton growing during that period. So it was easy for the companies to just wait, buy the cotton, process, and export. And I want to highlight that our cotton business is pasendere kutenga lonji nekuri China. Zvekufinanza asi basa recotton, asi basa remacompany. Mabasa ekufinanza ibasa remabank. But my banks have now reneged. They are no longer doing their jobs. My banks are not up and maruwa havasi bankable. Hana security, hana shakati. Some bank akababuda, including the AFC, yari agri engagement. Ezvo kuti mubereki wekumusha aine kubank ndokumbirawo $1,000 credit kuda kutenga ma-inputs. Havamupe because like toda collateral. Musha wake madzimambo, musha una mataito tizanditi. Mombe dzake kwenzi mombe dzako hatina shuwa nadzo idzi dzinokwanisa kufa. Mbudzi dzako. So our rural farmers have no collateral, they are not bankable. That's why I find that Kotko now went into an input credit scheme whereby the company now was borrowing on behalf of the farmers because the company is assets. So the input credit scheme was fulfilling gap that had been left by the bankers. And we'll talk about that later on and see how it eventually destroyed the companies. Right, so when Cargill came in, service delivered to the farmers improved. I think we all witnessed it. Cargill was the first company to introduce cash payments to the farmers. Cotton CMB used to pay by checks. Tainyorwa check, kuenda kuma farmers opostwa kusvika kuzvikoro tsamba zikadedzwa vanosama nekudai nekoko hakuna anotora check iye pamwe 2 weeks check iri kuzvikoro my master ofuna check maybe after 3 months. When you get the check, the farmer will now need to get his money. The farmer is no bank account. What does the farmer do? He goes to the nearest business center, he negotiates with the shop owner, what I auction. And what does the shop owner say? Because all right, a check yako india $1,000, kundikupe mari tenga kuti 500. Akumanisa kuti zvakasingayo. Taiti unozita something, I don't know if you know what it means. Mashoko ekumamisha hembe dzaiturikwa mumasailing. Mahenga masailing kwete something ikazi hembe yaunolapa. Utore hembe kana kuti hembe uzonganga kukupa change. So the farmer was being forced to buy things that he did not want because of the payment system. But the cash system liberated the farmers. A farmer could now go and get their cash. And also the number of suicides were quite high because in Ghana decided to buy a check. I kind of change a check here, change here, I shall check in a young my door, most of them my and got a shagabat. My way to say, Mazeva is broke. So the number of suicides were quite main because of that scenario. Right, so that actually improves the cotton farming. Competition is good, it improves service delivery. And with time, more companies came in. Mana Graphics, they came onto the field. They came other companies, the Chinese companies, and the competition was very intense. And because of that competition now, we started now thinking outside the box. Instead of waiting for the farmer to bring their cotton, you have to go to the farmer to buy cotton. Because if you don't go there, someone will go there and grab it. The first time the farmer will buy. So that's how, again, it improved the service delivery of the farmer. Because the farmer benefited from that. Because people will come and buy from the homestead. And that was good for the farmer. But with time, patataka kuwandisa manje paishona hanzi kuwanda kwakanaka ndokutanga kuti rumwe rimwe arikubichura titi tikawanda kuti zvinofamba apa zvaka zviri kufamba. But with the time tikazwa kuti kuwanda kuya manje kwakupedza mutu nekuti makamani anga achizara manje taakubvutira ndonjera kusvika tasvika panguva yekuti no Kotco inokwasakuenda yapa chikwereti kuna Mutomba. Kana Mutomba ane madonje rake Graphics oweya kuti unoziva mari Kotco ukaonza kwandiri hauchabhadhara chikwereti kusakuenda kwari kubatira chikwereti chako. Saka kuti awane mari yakawanda akunzvenga unopiwa chi unotengesa kumwe haachabhadhara chikwereti. So with the time that became a very serious evil in that Isusu Kotco is the biggest financier. In fact, Kotco and Kagi were the biggest financier. Kotco is finance 60% of the national crop. Kagi, I think they also finance maybe 30% or 40% of the crop. So I'm not sure that Isusu trade up bank, talking about 20 million, come time a marketing, Valimanos owns 10 million chet. Well, I put Isusu manage, but so good, Samaya bank 20 million, that was supposed to 10 chet. Because I'm going to tell you now, Pada, you go to the still food loitica, what's up to 10 million. No, our debt continued ballooning until we almost collapsed. That's how the cotton industry eventually collapsed. Was with the main financier, but with the main company that was being hit by that system. So when we really failed to finance in 2015, all the companies were looking up to Kotco to finance, we didn't. And the production slumped to 28,000 for the country. 28,000 was the record low. Travel about drought ends the West drought in living memory. But our personal drought here, man. Nobody was about 28,000 countrywide. So this now became a problem, and Kotco almost collapsed. Right, because of that, I think government now is intervening because the rural folks and I'm sure if you remember, all the councils were now in serious financial problems. All the rural shops were in serious trouble. In fact, all the schools were in serious trouble. No one could pay school fees. And I remember visiting some of the rural areas, they were now like, rural shops were all in ruins. All the shops had been closed down because cotton was the main crop that would oil the system. So everything was just down. But when the Yes. When this scheme, the presidential input scheme was introduced now, it changed the whole thing. And I want to highlight that the presidential input scheme, contrary to popular belief, the inputs are rules by the government as pure code. The inputs are going straight to the farm. They don't even pass through our books. They go straight to the farm. It's also our role is that we are just an agent to manage the logistics. We manage the inputs. For example, just need database. Actually, when the scheme started, the first year, I think, you were right, if you call it size, things won't grow. The first year, I managed by GMB. Today I'm free because it's not here. Last time I was out shower. The GMB. First year, government actually GMB, the architects. So she saw Manisha, she was a counselor, it was chaotic. But I remember, this phone of Che. Since issues, when you tell her that I put my inputs, Rakapaka, look at my inputs, was then put our inputs over to take it somewhere where that's how guilty it was. And we did not get much out of it. But I don't so the first year it was not properly done. Then we approached the government. No, for my sushi, we put my records. And over 20 years, we know who is who in Zimbabwe. Tema computer systems, Tema records, the moon, we now redirect those inputs to the correct places. So we're given now the task and mandate to do that. Then at least, target farmers, a quarter shower, divide party to but it was also a problem. That some farmers thought it was a gimmick. That's what my inputs are. But just when you go why you take it, so it's actually to say my so some of them just got inputs and they quickly sold with so we had to go into overdrive. I think you remember in the areas that you come from, especially those from cotton growing areas, we actually went into overdrive to mobilize my farmers. No, this scheme is for free. No, this is for free. So some who accepted it, they benefited. That's why that in the first, second year, production has to clear out additional production of 74,000. In the contract was up to go 54,000 tons. But still, we're still very, very low, considering how much we had given to the farmers. And also, even those septics or those prophets of doom, what's in national resources. But this scheme, the president was VP then. This was never going to be a one-day. Some people thought it was going to be a one-day. Now, inputs, plant the 50,000 hectares. No. We're going to work on the people's minds first. Make them understand, make them believe, make them accept the program. So we had to do a lot of work to convince my farmers and Rome was not built in one year. It take time, break upon break, and still, I don't see it there. So we managed to produce 74,000 tons, and unfortunately that year again, if you remember 2017, we had too much rainfall. Contrary to the popular belief again, for cotton it was too much for cotton. But first now because in also mishonga tukaspray ingechigezwa nemvura kuti yarundi grochiyo kwakuti nyanyakutanzi akotwo yakupa vanhu mishonga expire nichikonzera kuti donje rakashidyiwa kuti ungangospray robva rageswa nemvura ungaspray robva rageswa nemvura. So we had a lot of challenges in 2017. Then 2016 so the 2017-2018 season I think we had a reasonably good year, even though rainfall distribution was also poor, but the production really moved up to 142,000 and Coldco as a company, we bought 127,500, which was good for the company because at that level, 127,000, takasvika pa 100% capacity utilization yemachinery yedu. The nation has got 450,000 gene capacity in mama companies, but for Coldco, last year takasvika pa full capacity utilization. They told us question ekuti isusu toita told gene mama companies, why do we do that? Pane dzimwe nzvimbo dzekuti, for example, Chile takatenga dodota 35,000 tons, but tine gene riwani ikoko rinokwanisa kujina maybe 20-25,000. So ndifana kutsvaga vanojina zvakasinga kugone kuti takodoje kuchiredzi rozojinwa kuchinoi kwakone capacity kana kusanya tikauti kukagoma so it was cheaper to toll gene there, which also shows our sincerity that when we say competition, they should be starting somewhere by gening. We are not saying we don't like them, we like them because they're machineries, but what we don't like is kuzotitsiste papanezvaitazimisapa apapanozopato vatatakakurovana ipapo. But vachiti aiwa Coldco matenga ideology renyu twasa kuchina naye hatina problem nazvo, they can actually gene for us, and we believe that given this scheme it will be prudent for them to start at the value addition stage, because since we are focusing on the primary production, they should start starting at the value addition stage, because there are other proponents who say no, but mukudaro makamani akainvest. Yes, vakainvest. What they invest in? Vakainvest some machineries. We also invested in machineries. But for your machinery to work, you must produce the raw material. Ukatenga poto, haukakuendeka pane izvozvo, ndakateka poto kai ndoda kubika sadza rive upfu, hazviite. Unofanira kutenga upfu hwako, weizobvisa mupoto yako kubike sadza ndizvo. But vamwe vari kuti izvo, aiwa, ngavatovhwe panext door, vabike sadza because vakaenda mapoto avo muZimbabwe. I think that's right. They must invest in machineries we tick. They must also invest in the production of the cotton so that they can feed their own machineries with cotton. That's where we always be talking about side marketing. My client babies, we are sounding like broken records, but that's the reality. Other companies are reaping where they did not sow, and I think you always see them pitching up this time of the year. This is what they've invested. I'm sure you know we've got 500 buying points. Tena investor in my extension officers, my domain background, that we will resource with motorbikes, fuel, protective clothing. We are paying for those things. We resource my chairman in background, they are running around giving protective clothing. It's an expense. Now someone go for a season, they lock up the channel. We don't kill them at the warehouse, they go to on holiday. They come now because of actually on the upper side. So just we are pleased every day. Now they come out, I'm going to take 5 cents extra. We have until the I think it's not fair. Because they are also abusing our farmers. Because our farmers are now being trained with tomatoes. Yet the good people are watching tomatoes, but with sauce, no, I think it's not fair. Right, the presidential scheme started in 2015, I think that has been highlighted. And the main objective of the presidential scheme was to address the farmers' viability. My farmers in anga producer tomboti 400 kgs per hectare. Totengesa kuti Coldco. Mari yavawana pahecta iyoyo yanga iri shoma pane chikwereti chavanenge vainacho. Vanenge vachikwereti $600 kuwana 400. So vaifondokera Coldco gore rose otsvakinonzi nechikwereti. So government was now coming to address the issue of the input costs, which was a cost to the farmer. Then also addressed the viability of the farmer by giving us a viable price. That's why this year $1.95 to ensure that the farmers are viable on the price front and also on the input side. This is where we sell links with Njanji should cover that we are price takers. We don't negotiate the price. We don't give up an index. It's a price, you know, doing global market. We don't say to an at least it's set by the superpowers, don't know. But teach a man, no, that is price, a control email cat. Was no one matter extra that's ash. What's the matter was a shade, no Spakuno, about China cheaper than the municipal. Because people manipulate my price, another cheaper, a lint. This is cost of production, no guarantee, Yakapira. Should have been single panels with a bassa. As new go to their price takers now, tikati isu tite profit kuti zviite profit kuContco zvoreva kuti tofanira kudzvanya producer price kuna farmer tikadzvanya producer price kuna farmer akufonokera mahara akaona pazvibhadhari kuti ase farmer kuti ine handichadi nekutori yazvo nyika yapara. So these were the main areas to be attacked by the scheme. And I think I've covered the background. Right, so far we have enlisted 400,000 farmers. And the policy government was that we start off with 1 hectare per person from not only that, but it also makes sense kuti munhu akatora ndimadi akaishanda ndimadiki iyo they will be more efficient than kuti kuita 5 hectares anoguma kutadza kusakura akukundikana pakuspraya akukundikana une number of issues but pa 1 hectare akaisa pfungwa dzake dzese nesimba rake rese pa 1 hectare iyoyo vanoona a better yield. So that's why we're focusing on 1 hectare. We are being mindful that we get the maximum out of every hectare that we plant. I think we've covered mobilization exercises that we'll also be working with. I think our plea is that as we talk to our farmers, because it's an ongoing process, we engage our farmers and Honorable, you highlighted a very valid point that we work, as we work in the rural areas, we work with sitting members of parliament. We don't even attempt to work with someone outside that structure. We work with sitting members of parliament. I think we appeal to you that when we come, program I want to highlight this point, Honorable, in that as we work with a sitting MP, last year we had an election, and some sitting MPs back up, but Kurekanga ngetireva yengi yomanimpi manyuwana akapinda kusirizo kuti isusu mutemo wedu toshanda vanenge varipo panguva iyoyo saka imi muripo panguva inoyi mukazobudawo chinzi mabuda totakoshakaoshone vashani vadi vapinda saka musati nepfungwa yekuti no nekuti vanhu havaimboshandane munhu wandairwisana naye saka vangobva nemi kwete hatizobva nemi tinofanira nemutemo takagawa mutemo uyu kubva kuna president chavo nono don't meddle in politics mukakuta initial politics munokuvara saka toshanda vanhu vakati mukangoiwa musoni by the president takutomhanya pamwe kuti saka toita sei panapa tindimaifanira ndo zvatoshanda tichaizvo saka ipapo don't feel kuti pave nemukava pakati pedu nemukweti uyai tichaita zvakanaka tiite program tifambisana because this program is for all of us. Isu tisi tiri kubenefita nefiwa yatinonga kumagaraji zvakawanda vanhu vatobenefita because this is quite good because doing foreign currency effectively we are growing foreign currency from the ground. I know in some forums debate ngoitwa kuti ndakambopinda panemonzi no this program yakashata and we are training our people not to pay back debts. Kati ayo our objective is not be focused on kutokochana kubva zvikwereti. People should be trained to be productive. Even Bible chavo chaimo munhu wematarenda waya akapiwa matarenda umwe akachenera akandozodzosera munhu ake zvakanawei wazati kuti enough imagine kapa munhu mainfudzi kuti handishi nomachenda mainfudzi waya kuti pane zuva rawazati zvinhu zveintorai isusu asida zvinhu toda need the nation wants need. So we want to train our people to be productive so that if they are productive mangwana tikazi tako apa pachikwereti dambudziko riripo kuti vatadze kugara chikwereti haisi nyaya yekuti chikwereti aiwa iye kuti havasi productive, my yields are too low. If a farmer can produce 1,000 kgs, for your information, my inputs are required and cost $140 US per hectare. Now imagine if a farmer akaburitsa iye 1,000 kgs per hectare, anokwanisa kugara chikwereti chake zvakanaka pasina problem. Saka dambudziko hazisi kuti kugara chikwereti, dambudziko ndekuti vanhu hasikwanisa kuprodusa, we are not being productive. We can only be happy people when we produce. If we are productive and we produce my yields akanaka, then our farmers can stand on their own feet. Naturally, exchange services, I think by our input scheme members, honorable members, it's for free. Hapana kana central bhadhwa nemapharmacy. Kusvika patransport to deliver to the farmers, to the nearest, to deliver to the distribution points. And government has instructed us to put on buying points, hakuna farmer kamba distance yakareba. That's why I put 500 buying points countrywide. The worst case for the farmers that I just want to buying point can be maximum 5 kilometers away, but the buying point should be as close to the farmer as possible. Mukanzwa chairman ekotwa kuti pane madhore transport udzai mapurisa kana kudza manager hakuna kana cent inobhadharwa pamainputs iwayo, not even 1 cent. Patinotenga donje futi hakuna kana cent inobhadharwa pama pakuta patransport. Totobhadhara pama patransport akakusa bill. Kuna mari vaningisha pamabuying points ati arikungusa kusva buying points tobhadhara mari for that. Akasina mombe dzake you pay them for using their own scotch card. If they use a car, you pay them for using a car. So there is no cost at all to the farmer. Mukanzwa akubhadhariswa pane chipato ekutwa uori ipapo. Nekumboza dzimwe nzvimbo davashandi vedu vari kwatadza mushonga kunetsa mani padhora mushonga vasukise vanhu ivavo. Hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro. Hatibhadharise as a company, and the scheme is for free. Right, on the way forward, we believe as COTCO that we need to continue with the same scheme, the presidential scheme. Why? Because as government spends money on inputs, mainly in RTGS money, that money is simply being converted by our farmers into foreign currency. And I don't know whether it's a good idea to convert 60 million RTGS dollars into $100 million. I think it's a good thing. Because if we say, okay, I said, on the fiscus, let's stop pushing it at 60 million fiscus and to lose $100 million. Because some people are just focusing on the fiscus, they're not looking at the big picture to what is the nation benefiting out of this. We are converting RTGS money into US dollars. Not only that, our people are also earning money in Marwao. If you go to rural centers, they are now lively now. My councils, they are now receiving their money from these companies. My shops, my schools, people are paying school fees. So the whole ecosystem is now functional because of this scheme. Right. We're also talking about a program that we thought we need to do here. Corporate farming is still on the cards, and we want to open large tracts of land to produce our own cotton as a company, and still continue with this communal-based production, so that we increase and boost the production of cotton, so that we increase our earnings, the foreign currency. But as we're doing that, for the past 2 years, we've been cracking our heads with, what should we do to improve on productivity? And we have been testing a hybrid seed with one of our seed houses, a seed from India, which is a non-GMO. This is purely non-GMO hybrid. It's a hybrid seed. Now, this seed we tried it for 2 years, and this year we were fortunate that we tried it under very extreme weather conditions in the drought. So takataya areas ese kuchirezi kugokwe kudzarabani kupi chichitambona mazvasa inofirwa sei. And I'm happy to report that takaita field there ndakakwanisa kundienda ndaro zvono nemaso angu kumzarabani, and ndine zvakuku zviri munhu honorable Soda na honorable takaita minister deputy minister Carol field day iyoyo tikati minister isusu tikaverenga mozotabirira tokumoti muverenge murini vakatsvaka mumiriri wakaverengera mabhora akari padonjiroro ungakwanisa kuti batsiro zvatakaona. Don't you take a moment? I think we found it. Right. Takamoti. When you read Chairman, we are moving from 7 balls to 150. Yes. So this chairman, share opening share opening Twitter says my is if that share opening Twitter says the program. So the kind of calculations, Tikati, to what movie, the kind of put it and put him at 180 balls per plant. Twitter plant population year 28,000. Farmer on 11 tons. The president will take 11 tons to say $24,000 per hectare which is $24,000 per hectare which is. So in that I think about my rights are really loud. Madam is going to be that to pay that. Sorry? The good news actually. The good news that she's Majara no machapani. Was mukaweka 11 tons and it calculates 11 tons per hectare times 400,000 hectares in Zimbabwe. That's what we so far. 11 tons times 400,000 hectares. 4.9 million. 4.9 million. So that's the capacity. If we enroll this to all the farmers in Zimbabwe, but now right now, we'll go to 4.9 million tons. Not kgs, these are tons. So I don't know, every village. So what we've done now, members, is that Chakata visit house, but this coming season, you're done on August. Sharp your inputs, you are sitting, you're doing 10,000 tons jet. Right? For 10,000 tons from Kaweka, yield, the lowest farm, 11. No possession, 100 something. I think we'll get about 150,000 tons from just 10,000 farmers. Because we saw actually going to 127,000 tons. So in this coming season, we should be able to get to where the main industry was. Then kind of year 2, talk it from 10,000 hectares to 30, marginally up to shorter. So that's what I'm saying. This is now going to transform the livelihoods of the raw folk. And we need now your support. Because when you enroll this program, but it's not records of the good farmers that will be performing, that will be loyal, and that will be consistent. We are chatting now, status yao zindoba nakakwa nukosha takwa gold class farmers. We are chatting now, farmers why each farmer atanga naye anataka kutaka farmer achashana naye washimtsitsisa. Lapha kuzopina mu year 2 that finish the 20,000 farmers bakutoye kuna program year 2 but we want to continue single that also grow our capacity marginalized sponsors them to support yabo marginalized capacity. So this one is real. Takati technology iro kuma lab scale the fiber length is better than traditional fiber string is better. Weight here ball is better. Tighter than 3 grams, you know, 5 grams. So, when we have a dietitian, live grams, so the weight of the ball is going to be much better. Once I taste that quality is I don't know some of that one. So, the balloon to pin up. Meeting now, and was applied by maybe presidential, about 20 kgs per hectare. And this milk E, you are 4 kgs per hectare. 4 kgs per hectare. Sakashasi, Malia, from transport. Magonita, Chaka, Magonita, pick up. What's the cost of it? One now, 4 kgs. So there will be lots of savings in terms of transport. So this is, we are going to enroll it. Unfortunately, we wanted members to see the fields, but I think they don't know how to go and may not be able. But unfortunately, we need them to in that we may ask the chairman to dish that food.
What's the input cost per hectare for the new hybrid?
Sorry?
What's the input cost for the new hybrid per hectare?
The seed cost is a little bit high, it's double. Okay. No cost about $68. What? I can't remember the kg, but per peg. You keep the cost at $34, so it's just double. But the benefits here yield man is tenfold, more than tenfold. So I was saying, if you start, my inputs are about credit now about $24,000 in home. From to whenever inputs are cost about 2,000 going to I don't know about things in our year. So if it was not about credit, it's about productivity. So if we do this, then our people will be productive. And I think it's also would have achieved our vision. Our vision as Koto is that we want to be Africa's cotton giant. And we believe that if we do this, we are going to be number one in Africa in terms of production. Because Kataka billion in production, that's massive. You know, we're doing the calculations, the income, we can earn this country over $4 billion, assuming that the whole thing was rolled out. But I think the limiting factor of the dictionaries. But the other can assure you that we'll be earning this country more than $1 billion in US dollars for the country. And that's a significant contribution to the nation. You know, not only that, I think we will become forerunners in terms of supporting the government's of the vision of being an upper middle income economy by 2030. Because that will now be starting from the rural areas, not only the town. You have the upper middle income status. We can't have to tangle town. So I think this is going to work, and we are committed to get it to work. We've already signed the agreements to get the seed coming for this coming season. And what we need is the support here, the authorities to get the forex to import it so that we start off the program. I think we need about $5 million to import the seed for the first tranche. Then after that, it will be self-financing. Because Kadam is almost $1 million. So I think that's the good news I was talking about. So we're saying we can do this using our communal farmers. We can also use the same seed on our commercial farmers. And what's going to happen now is that once the A2 farmers hear that the cotton is now producing Mayim Zakadai, there will also be a stampede from the A2 farmers. Cotton. So I'm only limited on communal farmers, but there will be also a massive interest from the commercial farmers to grow cotton now because of that. So we're still talking about Kuti. We need this scheme to continue. My private engineers, yes, they make noise, they come to you and lobby, but I know but what is their objective? They want to make a profit out of it. They don't care about our people, they don't care about our nation. What they want is to make money for themselves and take to their homes. So I believe that let's continue with the scheme. If private engineers want to make money, our time the value addition stage, there's space that has not been taken. And the people have been abusing statement their president of Zimbabwe is open for business. When he's saying that, he's not saying that's who don't have the whole guy with a business. He's saying look for gaps. More investment in Zimbabwe, come on gaps. They're not saying if someone is doing well, that is a way saying investors must look for gaps and you occupy those gaps. And we are saying the gaps that are there in the cotton value chain, they are starting at the value addition stage. We need people to gin. We need people to produce yarn. We need people to do fabric. That space is open. No one is in that space. But if we crowd ourselves in cotton production or value addition, what are we doing? Because these other players are interested in pushing out lint. They will never value add. They want to push out lint out of the country. And not only that, we believe that they are also playing games with the lint in the pricing of the lint. They are involved in transfer pricing. When they export, they underprice the lint. So that's Malawi, we don't do that because our interest is local. We don't overprice. Actually, each time we price, when we fix my price, We always fix my price when the price is highest. The private engineers fix a price when the price is at its lowest, so that they can take as much US dollars out of the country as possible. So that's the difference between us and the private players. Because private players are foreign owned. We are a local company. So our interest is to get US dollars into the country. Even their primary objective, just our objective, Twitter saying to Marine Zimbabwe, okay. And they'll come up with schemes to do that. But we need investment, but investment, so I was highlighting the impact of if we were to privatize again. What's the full circle? If you are to privatize, and so on. And I think our biggest challenge, members, is that our regulator has been failing us. We've got a special instrument which is very valid, which I believe is very watertight, which compels every GINA to give a full input package. And when I say a full input package, it means they must give seeds, they must give fertilizers, they must give chemicals on time, right? Now, these other players, they only give seeds. Not only seeds, they give the first seed. I think I should have brought some samples. I would have samples from my own. Seed yakaora. People are moving because you want to seed, put my 10 hectares. Now, can I also tell that they'll come and say, no, don't take that cotton 10 hectares from what I have seed 10 hectares. But seed, we have to sell cotton, or then that's where they are side marketing. Of late, we discovered that what they've been doing, they've been targeting our farmers at our presidential input scheme. What is that with my wash? That's what I do. So what they're doing now is what is a mine, what is a carbon X. Time you put in that load, but actually, I don't put nowhere. So I think those are all the schemes that are on the ground just that are derailing this program. So we believe that if we put our heads together, we can make this work and we can actually improve the livelihoods of our people. And we know ground management, I think we also need your input when you see things not working well. Those guys, because Zimbabwe ground I think even at first, because even ground structures, anyone now, most parts of sometimes, because at times our class shall they can come in or manage to fraud. Right now, actually, you're told how we are paying, we took about $95, but permanent if we pay to come and use $10 cash on a farm, that's 50 plus cash in my bonds. So you get my class and pass out Missy Cancer. If you have 10 years, you could have some woman looking at my man, phone, you have some other woman. All those things, if they are paying 2 days, those which have a ground. But we believe that we are partners, and we are partners for a worthy cause. Let's work together, let's get things to work, and I believe that mukatungamira vanhu vane mari dzavo kana zviri nani. Indakakura kumamishakano yamadhona anopinda nokusvika wewe. Madhona aiti akauya paita stampede yekuti amakwikwi ekuda kuonekwa nenhamo yakawanda ndiani. Which I believe is dehumanizing. Tikudzidzwa pakati utozoona kuti ini handina danga shairo, handina kana mbudzi aitodada nazvo. Aiwa, ngaitoti vanhu vakadai nekuti ndine danga remunhu, ndine tractor yangu, ndine mari dzangu. Kuti akuda kudada nenhamo. Let's move away from that mentality. So our people can be human again and they can regain their dignity that they're supposed to have as Zimbabweans. Thank you.